So hello everyone and welcome back to our Chessup games. We are still going to pursue the second game of Philidor, or second game of Botvinnik, in those like a mini series that I'm going to make just for myself, just to see where I'm more comfortable. Last game we played in Philidor, we were very close to lose. I don't think I made like a big blunder there, but the position started to disintegrate, and then we had a lucky escape. And in Botvinnik we had like a really easy winning position where I made a big blunder. Instead of capturing queen, we lost to rook. So both of the systems looked like we are doing something right, even though in the Philidor I had really the center under fire, so I probably should have waited with the d5 push. However, all this aside, we are going to see what colors we are going to get dealt, and that will determine what opening we play. So as we played the Botvinnik first game, now we are going to play the Vienna system, which is a very simple setup. We want to play g3, we want to play d3, bishop g2, knight d2, castle. Oftentimes we play h3 and king h2. And our goal is to then strategically decide whether to push for f4, whether to push for d4. So sometimes black is actually the one who tries to force the attack on the king side, which oftentimes doesn't work. So we are playing against a fellow chess player from UK. They are about 1157 rating points. So when bishop b4 happens, usually I go with my plan of developing the knight where I want it. If at any point there is some danger to the f2 pawn, or danger that there will be a move like bishop g4 played, then I preventively play h3, so I never allow this spin to happen. So now exactly this is the case. The bishop would like to go to g4 already, so we will take that square away with the h3 pawn first. It's like a little precaution, and since this system is sort of plays like black but with the extra tempo, we have usually a little bit more time to do what we want to do. So we will develop our bishop. Sometimes the knight would like to jump onto a square like d4. What is the advantage as well, once the bishop is outside of the pawn chain, that we often have move like bishop g5 with the idea of knight d5, but it also depends whether the black is going to decide to try and attack with the h5 pawn, because that's oftentimes leaves the knight on g5 vulnerable. And yes, we are giving black lots of play on both sides. They can decide whether they want to strike us in the center, whether they want to try and attack us on h3, whether they want to castle alongside. They have all these choices. However, we often get some nice attack against them. And I believe in this game they're deciding to castle alongside. So we might need to be really careful with how we are going to defend ourselves, because their attack can come quite early and quite decisively. It's actually the first time that I'm facing the long castle proposition here. Queen d7 is very logical. I will have to play king h2 to protect the pawn. So queen d7, king h2 protecting. And then I'll be deciding whether to play f4 or d4 push. I'm in a position where I'm not going to worry too much about black's plan. I'm going to more focus on my own plan in this position. So in some cases I might try and go after the d4, open the center of the board for myself. But it all depends also on what the opponent's going to do. So he's going for the attack, so I'm not going to worry about any double pawns on queen side. And I can start actually quite strangely to go for some trickery. If I play d3, black plays h5 and I go f4, there is this possibility to try and trap the bishop on by the move like f5. But we need to be also careful because the g file is likely to get open. But if we win the extra piece, that might be worth the pain, to sort of say. So yeah, at the moment it seems like I would prefer the quieter move d3. Because if I play d4, I'm also leaving the c4 square unprotected. So I'm going to play as the same way as if black has castled short. Which might be a bit strange to try and play on the side where black is most likely stronger. So black is going to go with the central push themselves. Which means okay. So I can play it in a way that they will be the one to open the position for me, not the other way around. So I feel like bishop g5 could be a good move to put some pressure on the f6 knight. Taking on d5 could be also interesting. Playing f4 doesn't seem to make much sense right now. So if I play bishop g5 and he takes on e4, then I feel like taking on f6 first. If he takes with the pawn, I can take with the knight or with the pawn myself. And I feel like taking with the knight there. Although the knight can potentially get trapped. I can also take with the bishop, but that's not a good option. So black did everything fine in this setup. And unlike in Botvinnik, we are having some issues straight from the opening. So on bishop g5, d takes e4, maybe I can take with the knight. I don't need to worry too much about e4 move, d4 move, sorry. Yes, but bishop g5 looks like my most... What if I gonna trade on... Yes, I feel like bishop g5. And if d4, then knight to d5 is also an option. Bishop d5, e takes d5. Knight will have to go to e7 perhaps. And I think this is a big blunder from black, as they are going to be losing a piece, because now that I take on f6, then I'm taking on d5, forking these two pieces. So the mistake came quite early. And there's no in-between move for black for two reasons: that even if you take here on c3, I still can recapture, but even if not, I have my own in-between move, like taking on c6 with the bishop. So I think this game is already finished. Obviously, we might need to prove with the technique that the game is indeed finished, and we weren't very precise playing our other games, but here we have 10 more minutes or maybe 8 more minutes than usual. So black is playing in between move, which we can meet with our own in between move. And let's be honest, it's actually something that I might consider, because if we take here with the pawn, then he will need to take it back with the pawn or react, because the queen is attacked, and then we can open the b file. However, I believe the best way to approach this is without doing this attack, though, because it takes a long time for me to bring the queen into attack there. Well, a long time, maybe 2 moves, it's not such a long time. And also I want to take this bishop where possible. So for that I'm opting to keep my pawn structure on the king side, on the queen side, to keep the pawn structure intact. The good thing now is, if I need to defend, I can offer the trade of pieces and I still keep the winning advantage, so there should be no issue winning this game, unless his attack somehow becomes a strong attack. But I believe it was good for me to wait with my moves, because it seems like this move is totally losing the game, as after bishop h3 I will be also hitting the queen, but not only that, I have this in-between move hitting the queen right now, and yes, black is resigning. So we have one quick upload, and I must say that this game itself, I will just show you the last moves that are most likely. So now I'm threatening this, I'm threatening that. If you move the queen somewhat to protect the bishop, I will take here. Now if you take here, I will take here with a check. So that's why black is resigning in this position. So just one simple in-between move here. So oftentimes what happens in those positions, if I try and set it up as it were at some point, just to show, we have bishop on g5. So if it's not black who's allowed to push first, then I have like lots of strong moves. For example, if I play f4, I'm threatening to trap the bishop on f5 with on e6 with just a simple f5 move. So this is like a difficult, sometimes challenge for a white to handle. Oftentimes they are castled short, so it makes it even more difficult if you have to move here, and then I get like all the pawn storm in the world. And then quite often the bishop also stands on c5, so if you decide to trade here, now you need to still focus on this threat. So the moment you move away, This is a quite common setup of the pieces. I just have this move as a backhand, and then comes this move. So after the bishop moves somewhere, then comes this move. So it's like a very poisonous and very strategically full opening for me. I don't know if the plan I have chosen was the best, but basically we haven't left the opening stage, and it all gone down to just one blunder where black plays h6. Otherwise, I think if he didn't play that blunder, his position would be still quite playable. Anyway, I would like to thank you for watching this video. I hope you don't mind that this one is a bit shorter. And yeah, I will see you at the next video. So far we have Botvinnik versus the Vienna system. They are even, but I believe I put more pressure in the first game with the Botvinnik system. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'll see you later.